We're talking finance on AME Info, investment in fact, and we're looking at the new Sukuk Fund launched by Emirates NBD. So, Haroon, give us an overview of the new fund which has just been launched.
Yes, certainly. We've launched a 4-year closed-ended Sukuk fund, which essentially invests on behalf of investors into the Sukuk industry across a portfolio of diversified Sukuks, which range from all the way up from 1 to 4 years in maturity. But the investors have the ability in the next 4-week period to actually come and invest the money. The targeted net return yield on this fund is around 12% annualized, and there's a periodic payment. Every 6 months there's actually payment back out to the investors so that the money is not fully tied up for 4 years. You get a 6-monthly payout.
Looking at the areas of investment, the bonds, it's government and commercial ventures across the MENA area. So which are perhaps the strongest ones you'll be looking at?
Well, we've seen since last year the dislocation in the credit markets globally, which have affected the pricing on the Sukuks. And so we felt at the point when we were looking to launch this fund that there's great opportunities for investors in this space. We've selected from a universe of around 50 Sukuks, 8 to 10 issues that we feel very strongly, which have very strong underlying cash flows in those corporates, which have very strong government ownership, or quasi-government ownership stakes within those companies. So clearly the Sukuk markets historically have predominantly been in the financial sectors and real estate sectors, and so there's a heavy preponderance of Sukuk issues in that space.
Right. In terms of real estate at the moment, which is going through a bad phase, I mean, are you sort of being a bit cautious there?
Yeah. So for the investors' perspective, certainly the equity markets have been very volatile. You see that from the share prices of, say, for example, Emaar or Arab Tech, which are heavily in the construction industry. The prices on the equity side have come off hugely. But in the credit markets, there's a very different type of risk profile that you're actually getting to. And with heavy government ownership and government strategic vision behind such stakes, I think the real estate sector will certainly come out of it on the credit side relatively unscathed.
What is perhaps the advantage or benefits in these challenging times of Sukuk compared with other offerings?
Yeah. Well, if you look at all the asset classes, if you wanted to go into a real estate fund or a equity fund or a Sukuk fixed income type of fund, the fixed income at the moment provide the best risk-adjusted returns, in our opinion. Equity remains very volatile. Real estate seems to be softening in its exposure, so the income yields that you're getting out from the rental property is still relatively weak. Sukuk actually provides a fixed coupon payment to the investor, and this fund has tried to capture that and actually bring the coupon payment back out to the investor, but hold the Sukuks to maturity, so that you're not exposed to the volatility on the Sukuk prices.
Well, I come across some research by Bloomberg which was comparing Sukuk Islamic bonds with global bonds over the 2-year period, and the last quarter of 2008 showed phenomenal growth of Sukuk, almost doubling the yields of what you could expect from global bonds. So do you see that trend continuing at that extent?
Yeah. We do have our internal research as well, which point to that the risk-adjusted returns from some of these Sukuks will narrow down. So this is perhaps the best time to get and lock in some of these yields. But going forward, I think if credit markets globally recover, then the Sukuk market will also recover and yields will come down. But at this precise moment, I think this is very well placed.
Let's have a look at a couple of specific details regarding the Emirates NBD Sukuk Fund number 1. Minimum investments for corporate and also individuals. What are those fixed at?
Individuals is $25,000, and that's a huge attractive opportunity for investors who have previously not been able to get into the Sukuk market because the secondary trades were at $1 million plus type of levels. So an investor coming at $25,000 approaches one of our branches through Emirates Islamic Bank or Emirates NBD. At the corporate institutional level, that's $1 million investment, but then the fees are slightly lower on that.
And a little reminder, you mentioned before, the tenure for this fund will be?
It's a 4-year closed-ended product, but every 6 months there's a payout back to the investor. Okay. If you look at the duration of the period, that's less than 3 years. So you expect to get the capital back out very quickly.
Haroon, thank you very much indeed.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this is Phil Blizzard for AME Info, taking a look at the launch of the Emirates NBD Sukuk Fund No. 1.